Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm making a video just because I haven't made any kind of transition videos in probably since I got top surgery a year ago. So I made this new channel to kind of start, I guess, just recording my progress as far as, like, I guess, transition and life-wise kind of stuff like that. So it's been 3 years and 3 months on T. As far as changes go, I would say in the past year and a half, maybe even 2 years, probably 2 years, the only significant changes I've noticed have been hair related. My beard started to fill in more over here, like on the blah blah blah, like up here. When I first started getting facial hair, it was weird because it was like patches on my chin started, like in the little, it was like weird, like little hairs here and here, just on like the corners of my chin. And then I would get like, my sideburn would be here, and then I'd get hairs over here, just like random scattered ones. And then when I hit about like 8 or 9 months, I had, my face just like exploded with disgusting acne, as well as hair. I had like a chin strap, stuff like that, that just kind of popped out of nowhere. I remember being at my friend Emily's house, and it was just like, she's like, whoa dude, like, I haven't seen you in like a month, and your face is like crazy hairy. And I had no idea, I don't know how. Kind of oblivious to a lot of things, so maybe that was it. But yeah, my face kind of just like exploded with just hair at, like, it seemed like just like woke up and there was tons of hair on my face. But I mean, it probably wasn't tons, but it was like a good sized chin strap for a while. And then I spent like the past couple years waiting for like this hair to come in, which is still like, you can still see my cheek, but it's like long, like goes out to about here. That's like the end of it, but it's like thin. Obviously it's still like patchy over here, but I'm super grateful for it. Obviously I'm not gonna sit here and complain and be like, oh, I could use a couple more hairs, because I got plenty of hair in my face, and it's cool. I stopped shaving when I came back from my friend's surgery in Florida, and that was like February, March. I did trim my beard once down to like an 8 on like the buzzers or whatever. That was a mistake. I was very upset about that. But I haven't done anything since. That was like a couple months back that I trimmed it. But yeah, I've just been letting it grow. Same thing with like my hair up here. It's still, they both, like, I was shaved my head and my beard bald like a long time ago. I don't remember. A couple months ago. Well, when I was in Florida, before Florida, I think. Yeah, so it was like a while ago actually. So yeah, and since then I just kind of just let my hair grow, whatever. I don't have any plans on cutting anything. I just want to see what happens. Just go with it, I guess. So that's T changes. I'm 1 year and 1 day post-op, which is cool. Yesterday was like my 1 year post-op surgery. Actually, like 1 year since the date of my surgery, whatever. Which is pretty crazy. Like, a year went by very quickly. And I am super lucky and super happy that, you know, I had surgery, I was able to have surgery, and that I was able to, you know, my insurance ended up covering it, which I didn't really expect, because they didn't even cover my T. Up until like probably a month ago, I've been paying for T out of pocket through Stroheckers, which is fine, because I mean, it wasn't that expensive. But I mean, there'd be some times where, you know, I was broke or whatever, and it would suck to try to come up with $60 for medication, all that shit. But yeah, as of like a month ago, maybe a month and a half, I found out that my current insurance does pay for T, so I get that like really cheap for the 10 milliliter bottles, which is awesome, because I'm on a different insurance now than I was when I got surgery. I'm under my dad's, I was under my mom's at the time. So yeah, so my old insurance that paid for my top surgery didn't even cover T. They said the only way they would cover it is if I went to the doctors every week to have it administered, which did make sense to me, because it would be like a $15 copay plus medication every week, it would cost me more than Strohackers. So I just kind of did that and didn't really think anything of it after I made that decision to just pay for it out of pocket since I started T. So I've had this new insurance since like January, but I was slacking on doing research for like my medication, stuff like that, see if T would get covered. And so I was lucky enough to actually have that get covered like now. So that's awesome. So that definitely saves me a lot of stress and money, stuff like that. But anyways, so I ended up getting my chest surgery covered last year under my old insurance. And I had surgery done with Dr. Bartlett. Sorry about that. Dr. Bartlett in Brookline, Mass. Super cool guy. Like, awesome staff. It was just like a great experience. Like, I've never had surgery before. I was freaking out. And they made everything like super easy for me. You know what I mean? So I didn't have to worry about anything. Just kind of try not to stress out. Awesome people there. Awesome. So when I originally went in for the consultation, you know, I had spoke to my insurance before, and they did say there was a chance that they could cover like a double mastectomy or whatever. And so when I went to the surgeon to get my like consultation or whatever, he said, you know, like, we'll check with the insurance. It's gonna be about like, I think it was like almost $9,000, like 8,500, I want to say. Maybe it was 8,900. I don't remember what the exact like out-of-pocket cost was going to be. But my insurance at the time ended up being contracted with him, so he was like in my network. So the insurance was said that they were going to cover it. Dr. Bartlett wasn't sure because he, I guess, never really dealt with insurance through like for chest surgery or anything like that, and he thought maybe they'll cover a little bit, not all of it. Anyways, so they ended up covering like all but $700 of it. So when he was concerned about how much they would cover, I paid $4,000 out of pocket, which I was fine with. I was prepared to, you know, kind of work my ass off and pay the whole thing. I was like, all right, insurance said they might cover it. I gotta keep the mindset like they're not covering it, because then I'll slack off and, you know, stuff like that. So I paid that. After surgery, about a month later, they called me and told me my insurance ended up paying for everything, all but like $700 or $800, I think. So I got the money I paid back. It was awesome, and I know I'm super blessed, super lucky, and I'm just like very happy that everything kind of worked out the way it did. And I'm glad that I had that opportunity to have surgery. I know there's a lot of guys out there that have not been able to have surgery yet, or even get on T yet, things like that, or waiting for surgery, saving up for surgery. But it's definitely worth it. Like, no matter what happens while you're trying to save for surgery or anything like that, just like keep with it. Like, don't give up. Like, it's definitely something that can happen. Like, I'm here a year and a day after surgery, and I'm still like blown away, and I don't take stuff like that for granted. Like, it's definitely something that I'm super happy that happened, obviously. So my advice would be to just do a lot of research, call your insurance a bunch of times. That's what I did. I would just keep calling them with any kind of question I had. Did a ton of research online, especially for my surgeon. I've never heard of him, like, as far as like in the trans community. I think like one person mentioned him a long time ago. I ended up finding him through the crazy research I was doing. I was on the computer like all the time looking up stuff, and the keyhole type procedure that I had, he's the best at that, in my opinion. I went on his website. He has tons of like before and after pictures with trans patients, and his work was just amazing, and I was like, this is the guy, you know. So it's been a year and a day. Awesome. I feel great. What other stuff? I guess just like life stuff. About 6 months ago in January, I had been working for like a corporate help desk job type thing. It was like my first like real job or whatever. So I worked there for a while, over a year. I guess it's not really a long time, but for me it seemed like forever. And then this past January, I decided like this wasn't working out. My seasonal depression, which I never really thought that I had. I thought like, because every year it would like kind of come and go, but this year kind of hit me hard, like really hard. I was on all kinds of medication, stuff like that. Not that medication's bad, but for me, it just didn't work. I had like every negative side effect that you could like think of from this medication. I felt like insane for a really long time. I had no idea like what the hell was going on. I felt like I kind of lost myself in that process, and at the same time, I feel like I let go of a lot of things and kind of just like started new within the past like 6 months. So the reason I bring up the job is I ended up quitting the job, leaving, whatever, and I've been broke as hell. I mean, I live by myself. I pay for all my own stuff. Like, I don't have, like unemployment, anything like that, or any kind of like checks coming in. I just been kind of working for myself, doing odd jobs, working for a couple like websites, doing contractor work, kind of just living like that. I just feel like what I was doing was not what was making me happy, even though it was like great money. I could pretty much blow my money and still be able to make my bills, which was cool. But it just didn't make me happy in the long run. So I left there, and since then I've just been kind of working by myself, for myself, doing my own thing, trying to get back into school, stuff like that. So that's been a hell of a ride. It's hard getting like school loans when you're 23 and you don't have like co-signers and stuff like that, which I guess I could ask my parents, but it's just not something that I'm interested in doing at this point. But yeah, so I've been kind of, since January, just kind of trying to improve myself as a person. I've been doing a lot of meditation, a lot of like studying different kinds of religion, stuff like that, and I've never been like a religious person. I grew up Catholic, but we didn't really practice it. I went to CCD, stuff like that. I never made maybe my first communion. I never made or did my confirmation or whatever, because I stopped going to CCD when I was young, blah blah blah. I was in confirmation class when I was like 19, everybody was like 14, and I was just kind of like, I don't, like, this doesn't work for me, kind of thing. So kind of stuff like that. Just been trying to, I guess like treat my depression, but by other means without like medication. Just kind of being comfortable in my own headspace. Getting like, my anxiety was like through the roof this year. It was ridiculous. I didn't leave my house for like weeks at a time. Just, I don't even know. I would just sleep all day, every day. It was like very depressing. That was the most depressed I have ever been. With all that kind of stuff. But anyways, so since then I've been doing great. I try to surround myself with like positive things and stuff like that, because I never really realized like how much like negative people or negative things in your life can really like start to affect you after a while, if not like immediately. So I kind of had to like rearrange my thoughts and like the way I dealt with things, I guess, to try to be where I want to be. And I think I'm closer to where I want to be than I have been in the past, which is really good. And I know I'm nowhere close to being like where I want to be, but it's not a race, so I'm not worried about it. I enjoy like getting there, because that's another thing I realized. It's like the journey. It's not all about like the destination, I guess, which sounds like really corny. And believe me, like a year ago I would have laughed a lot about that, but it's true. Like seeing all these things and kind of like listening to myself and the way I feel about things, you realize stuff, and it's hard to explain, especially with me. I'm not very good with words or anything like that. And this video is like 15 minutes. This is crazy. But yeah, basically, I'll probably end this now. Basically, my advice to you guys is, I guess, do research. There is hope. Like, if you're trying to get chest surgery got canceled, something like that, money issues, like, obviously, take time to, you know, feel how you feel about it, but at the same time, keep going, like, you're gonna get there. Like, if you want it bad enough and you work hard enough to get there, it's all yours, pretty much. It's just a matter of you doing those things, and no matter how many, like, roadblocks or, like, shit that gets in your way, just kind of, just laugh at it, because, I mean, you gotta laugh at shit. It's just another bump in the road. You'll get there. It's not a race, so don't feel like, oh, you know, like, my buddy's on T, or this person is on T, or just had top surgery, and feel down about yourself. Don't do that. I know it's very hard not to, but just know that you'll be there. Like, there's tons of guys out here who go through the same kind of shit, whether it's like medical, family, living situations, stuff like that. It's all just one big hell of a ride, but it's good. So, and in that, like, whole struggle, I feel like I've learned a lot about myself and, like, the way I look at things. So just know that the time that you spend with, like, bullshit is not all, like, in vain, I guess. It's for something, and you'll realize it later. But yeah, so 3 years and 3 months on T, a year and a day post-op, feeling good, enjoying the weather, even though it's like muggy as fuck in my apartment, but I got the AC on, so I'll be alright. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. If you guys have questions, anything like that, I'm not really sure how this whole new, like, YouTube thing works, but I guess send me a message and then I'll figure out where to get it, because I have not figured out how to use my inbox yet for some reason. But yeah, so I'll talk to you guys later.